Follow me here. We're looking at the Lok Sabha ruckus, adjourned to 2 p.m. now. What's likely to happen once it's resumed? The Mahua Moitra case. We see the India bloc members siding with her, saying they'll stage a walkout if not for a detailed debate.
Well, it remains to be seen because as per procedure, the government will now have to move a motion basically to adopt the resolution as the, or the recommendations of the report. The report has been officially tabled on the floor of the House by the chairman of the Ethics Committee, Vinod Sonkar. That happened obviously amid a lot of opposition sloganeering and the din in the House. That has been done and the House has now been adjourned till 2 p.m. So next what happens is that the government, we're expecting Union Parliamentary Affairs Minister Pranab Joshi to move a motion to adopt the recommendations in the report, and subsequent to that the opposition will be demanding a discussion. They're entitled to a discussion of half an hour in the House as per the rules of the Ethics Committee. So it remains to be seen if that is allowed, because if, as per the rule, they're entitled, and during that time if Mahua Moitra will speak herself in the Parliament. But yes, expect that if there is a vote that happens, the opposition knows very clearly that they cannot defeat any sort of resolution in the Lok Sabha given the majority numbers of the NDA in Lok Sabha. So they're likely to then stage a walkout in protest and possibly go to the Gandhi statue inside the Parliament premises and protest. But yes, that report, that much anticipated report, has been tabled by Chairman of the Ethics Committee Vinod Sonkar in the Lok Sabha.
Well, so it's almost like a sword hanging on her head, Paulmi. Mahua Moitra, if at all this motion is adopted, then it's likely that she'll be suspended from the Parliament. First time Parliament from West Bengal. Mahua Moitra wants a detailed debate. Tell us, what are the threats that she could face if at all this motion against her is passed?
Well, basically, Mahua Moitra will be expelled from Parliament, not suspended. This expulsion happens the first such instance since 2005, when a bunch of MPs were in fact expelled from Parliament in 2005. At least 11 MPs, and that was also a cash for query row that had taken place in Parliament at that point of time. And after expulsion, obviously, she is not a member anymore of the 17th Lok Sabha. But expect that the Trinamool Congress will use this, will go to the people, will play the woman card, will play the victim card, and Mahua Moitra will go into the 2024 elections hoping to capitalize on this moment, saying she was silenced, her voice was silent, because she is a very vocal, a very prominent anti-establishment voice.
Speaking of the India bloc members, we saw a fair amount of silence from the TMC on the initial stages of the investigation. Mamata Banerjee had not commented on it, but now as it's coming closer to this report being tabled by the committee, we believe the TMC has now finally stood up for her. You have the India bloc members, the Congress party at least, standing up for her. Other parties, part of the India bloc, who are supporting her. What kind of support do we know she is receiving from the India bloc?
Well, the India bloc is united as far as their opposition to this ethics panel report is concerned. The TMC, of course, initially did not make any comment because they said that they did not want to interfere with the process of the ethics committee. They said, let the matter be heard in the ethics committee. Let them hear Mahua Moitra and her defense. But eventually, when Mahua Moitra walked out of that ethics committee meeting, alleging that filthy questions, as she said, some very demeaning, personal, private questions were being asked of her by the ethics committee chairman, and she was being humiliated as a woman, that's when the TMC stood up. And the first voice you heard was TMC Supremo Mamata Banerjee. She spoke out, and since then the TMC has taken a very categorical stand. They've spoken out at every instance about it, because their argument is that the process, the sanctity of a committee and its process of investigating a matter or probing a matter was not maintained. The report was leaked out, its recommendations were leaked out. These are confidential reports. Until they're tabled in Parliament, you don't even know the contents of these reports. Only after they're tabled would you possibly get a copy and know. But here, the media had reported on what the report has, every little bit of its content. So they said that the sanctity of the process has been completely maligned by the ethics committee, and the Bharatiya Janata Party is what is their allegation. And hence they stood up saying, when the process is not fair, when the process is not independent, then we will stand up and we will challenge it.
Well, interesting at this point. And of course, all eyes now on what Mahua Moitra's future would be. Like Paulmi says, a likely disqualification itself. She'll be expelled from the Parliament if at all this motion is moved, though the opposition right now demanding for a thorough debate on the matter. Paulmi, stay with us. Cash for query storm that now explodes. Ethics Committee report has been tabled in the Parliament amid massive uproar. TMC's firebrand MP Mahua Moitra, who's arrived in the parliament just a short while ago, made the skating attack at the BJP. She roared at them, saying, and I quote, "Maa Durga aa gayi hai, ab dekhenge." Mahua, who is now facing expulsion, dares the BJP to watch the showdown as it unfolds. The Congress, meanwhile, has backed the TMC MP, stating that it'll fight tooth and nail if Mahua is expelled from the parliament. BJP has issued a 3-line whip for all its MPs to be present in the Lok Sabha. The opposition, in all its likelihood, is expected to stage a walkout.
माँ दुर्गा आ गई है, अब देखेंगे। जब नाश मनुष्य पर छाता है, पहले विवेक मर जाता है। तो ये जो इन लोग वस्त्र हरण शुरू किए ना, अब महाभारत का रन देखिएगा। माँ दुर्गा आ गई है, अब देखेंगे। जब नाश मनुष्य पर छाता है, पहले विवेक मर जाता है। तो ये जो इन लोग वस्त्र हरण शुरू किए ना, अब महाभारत का रन देखिएगा। माँ दुर्गा आ गई है, अब देखेंगे। हमारे बंगाली में एक पोएम है काजी नजरुल का, অসত্যের কাছে তবু নত নাহি করো শির, ভয় কাঁপে কাপুরুষ লড়ে যায় বীর। तो जब नाश मनुष्य पर छाता है, पहले विवेक मर जाता है। तो ये जो इन लोग वस्त्र हरण शुरू किए ना, अब महाभारत का रन देखिएगा।
এত তড়িঘড়ি করে সিদ্ধান্ত নেওয়ার কোনো দরকার ছিল না। তাও আবার শুক্রবার আজকে প্রাইভেট মেম্বার্স ডে, মোস্ট অফ দি এমপিস তারা চলে যায় আজকে। এটা অন্য দিন আনা উচিত ছিল এবং আলোচনা অনেক বেশি হওয়া উচিত ছিল। যার অভিযোগ ক্যাশ ফর কোশ্চেন, যার অভিযোগের ভিত্তিতে এথিক্স কমিটি এই সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়েছে, তাকে ডেকেছে এথিক্স কমিটি, তার এভিডেন্স দেওয়া হয়েছে। তাহলে গোটা ব্যাপারটাকে বলা যায় পলিটিক্যাল ভেন্ডেটা।
This is a misadventure on part of the government, and if they indulge in this misadventure, all I can say is that they're going to add a 50,000 extra votes to Mahua in a re-election in 2024.
हर चीज में ये आज की सरकार इतनी प्रतिहिंसा, जिसको हम कहते हैं कि इतने बदला लेने की राजनीति क्यों करते हैं पता नहीं। तानाशाही स्वरूप अपनाते हुए आज ये एक क्रूर नजीर पेश होने जा रहे हैं। नया संसद की सबसे बड़ा कलंक दिन आज से ही शुरू होने वाला है।
लोकसभा के बिजनेस में ये लिस्टेड है, तो रिपोर्ट पेश होना तो पब्लिक डोमेन में है। अभी आगे की कार्रवाई स्पीकर साहब तय करेंगे कि वैसे रूल्स जो इसमें स्पष्ट है कि जो रूल्स 316 है उसमें आधे घंटे की चर्चा का भी उसमें उल्लेख है, सारी चीजें उल्लेख है। पहले रिपोर्ट तो ले होने दो, उसके बाद हाउस में क्या कार्रवाई तय स्पीकर साहब करते हैं।
डिस्कशन होगा कि नहीं होगा, कौन बोलेगा नहीं बोलेगा, ये सब तो स्पीकर साहब तय करते हैं ना, रूल यही कहता है। तो स्पीकर साहब क्या करेंगे, वो अभी से एंटीसिपेट कोई कर लिया तो हम उसके बारे में क्या प्रतिक्रिया देंगे। मैंने यही कहा ना, संविधान इसमें बहुत ही क्लियर है, उस लोकसभा में क्या चलेगा क्या नहीं चलेगा। इवन पार्टी यदि नाम देगी मेरा बोलने के लिए और स्पीकर साहब की सहमति नहीं होगी तो मैं नहीं बोल पाऊंगा। स्पीकर साहब को हमने इतना अधिकार दिया, इसी कारण से ये संविधान चल पा रहा है। इसका क्या नतीजा हुआ है ये भी मैं रिपोर्ट पेश होने के बाद ही बता पाऊंगा।
All right. Now, I'm cutting across to Paulumi Saha. Paulumi, as much as we hear all the opinions from political leaders, you have Mahua Moitra herself turned up in a red and white sari with a red bindi, more or less the colors of Ma Durga. Give us the posturing, the body language Mahua Moitra is boasting off on this very day.
Well, Mahua Moitra walked in today looking very confident. She has been coming into Parliament since the start of the winter session. She's not skipped a single day. Today as well, she is present in Parliament. She is, of course, saying that she will be facing this head-on. Of course, the opposition claims that the BJP, like you heard over there, has added 50,000 extra votes to Mahua's re-election campaign in 2024. They believe that this will benefit Mahua going into the campaign because she will come across as the victim, as an entire government set out to get her because she's such a vocal opponent of the government. That is the narrative that the opposition will be playing on. So expect, very stormy scenes inside Parliament when, of course, whenever, of course, the government moves that motion to adopt the recommendations of the report.
So tell me, Palmi, how does this work if at all she is expelled, she is disqualified based on the Ethics Committee's report? Does she have a chance to contest 2024? Is this a legal case where she, will this turn into a legal case where she is blocked off from contesting Parliament seat again, or this is a suspension? If that is adopted in the Parliament today, is it a suspension only until 24? This term.
This is an expulsion. This was an expulsion. She
Beg
stands
your pardon.
expelled from
A
Parliament from the
disqualification,
17th of Lok Sabha. Yeah, she will stand disqualified from Parliament from the 17th Lok Sabha until, of course, the next elections. Doesn't stop her from contesting the elections of 2024. She stands disqualified from the 17th Lok Sabha. So she cannot attend the rest of the winter session of Parliament. She cannot attend the budget session of Parliament, the last session that will take place before the country heads into general elections 2024. So, she's not going to legally challenge this anyway, because at the end of the day, there are just a few more months left before, of course, elections are to take place again. And she will have to go back to the electorate to have herself voted in from Nadia district, from Krishnanagar Lok Sabha constituency, if that is the seat, of course, that Mahua Moitra is given a ticket from. But then, of course, her trouble will mount because of the CBI inquiry, which is underway. The CBI, of course, has not registered a preliminary inquiry, has not registered an FIR. But what they're saying is that they have started an inquiry looking into the Lokpal's orders. Lokpal's orders to the CBI came on the basis of the complaint made by BJP Member of Parliament Nishikant Dubey. So if the CBI then chooses to go ahead and lodge a PE, a preliminary inquiry against her, then of course things change legally for her, because then of course the whole ramifications of it are totally different going into these elections.